On this channel, I published another video at the end of June 2024, about a month ago, telling you how it was the best June we'd ever had in terms of Airbnb revenue. Well, somehow we broke records again in July. In this video, I'll give you all the info about how much we made in July, plus I'll tell you how August and September are shaping up so far. I'm Susie, I'm American, and I've been living in France for over 15 years now. A few years ago, my husband and I decided to convert our garage, which is right behind our house, into a short-term rental, and we've been running it ourselves now for about 3 years. There are lots of other videos on my channel about our adventures in short-term rental if you want to check those out as well. It's hard to know exactly why we still have such good occupancy, especially considering that our prices are in general a little bit higher than some of our competitors, but I think that's compensated by the fact that we have some amenities that our competitors don't necessarily have. For example, we have air conditioning, we have outdoor space, we also have a washer and a dryer in the unit and free on-street parking. Plus, our reviews are still really good overall. We still have a 5-star review. So I think that that's what attracts people to our listing over some of our other competitors maybe. For a little context, this is what the calendar looked like in June 2024. So last month, you can see that we had 77% occupancy overall, and on average, we were able to charge 89 euros a night. And so overall, we made 2,053 euros, which we were really pleased with because that was the most that we had ever made. In June 2023, we made 1,777, and June 2022, 1,638. So comparatively, June 2024 was our best June yet. So here's the information for July 2024. We're going to bring in 2,860 euros this month. Our short-term rental will have been reserved for 27 nights for an average of 105 euros and 93 cents, and that's an 87% occupancy rate. So we are just thrilled across the board with these numbers. Compared to last year when we didn't make as much money, but it was a bit particular because in fact we were traveling in the US in July of last year. So we had my sister-in-law running our short-term rental and she was doing the cleaning for us. So just to sort of take off some of the pressure from her for the cleaning, what we did was we blocked a night between each reservation just to give her more time to do the cleaning. And so our occupancy rate suffered, the revenue suffered a little bit, but we were still quite pleased with this because it meant that we were still bringing in some money despite the fact that we were actually on vacation ourselves on the other side of the Atlantic. So it was quite good. And then compared to July 2022, that was our first summer, even 2,216 euros, we were very pleased with that. And you can see we were reserved 25 nights out of 31 in July, and we were able to charge on average about 88 euros. And so I think the difference in the amount of money that we're able to charge now is probably somewhat because of inflation, but also because this month we did have some reservations where we had more than 2 people. The base for our unit is 2 people, and then when a third person comes, the guests pay, I think it's 10 euros a night for each additional person, up to 4 people. So I think that that's what helped boost the nightly average rate. Also, we did have some events here in Dijon. For example, we had the Tour de France that came through, and so I had increased the price per night a little bit for some of those events, and I think that that is what had an impact and enabled us to charge a little bit more. So here is what the month of July looks like in terms of reservations and how much we were able to charge. The first reservation overlapped with the month of June, and the last reservation overlaps with the month of August. So I just tried to do a calculation for the month of July, and we have the total there, 2,860 euros and 65 cents. And I thought it might be helpful for you just to see in terms of when the reservations actually come in. So this is what the calendar for July looked like at the end of June. And you can see there was still a lot of availability. So I wanted to give you an idea of when people actually reserve our place, just to give you an idea of the rhythm of how the reservations come in. So you can see the first reservation that we had here in July was someone who had actually booked in May, and then the second reservation was someone who had actually booked in April. So those reservations were already on the books. But the people who came the night of the 8th and the 9th only reserved on the 4th of July. So I would consider that a bit of a last minute reservation. And that means until the 4th of July, those 2 nights were still free. And I was a little bit panicking, although I have to remind myself to sort of trust the system and to remember that every year we do have last minute reservations like this, even in the summer, and that it's okay, that generally our place does fill up, but it can be a bit stressful when you still have nights that are empty like this. And then the following week, we had someone who arrived on the 15th and left on the 17th, and they only reserved on the 12th. So again, it was kind of basically exactly the same situation in that case as well, but it all worked out in the end. And then last week, the 23rd and the 24th, these 2 nights were still empty, even at the very last minute. And I was definitely worried about this. You know, you think to yourself, oh my goodness, how is this possible? It's meant to be the high season. But then we've been hearing all these news reports about how in Paris, for example, for the Olympics, there's so many hotels and Airbnbs that are not full. And I thought, oh no, is this having an effect on us as well, even though we're quite far from Paris? And so what I did, normally we have a 2-night minimum for our reservations, but what I decided to do for the 23rd and the 24th was to unblock them, to separate them out from each other, so that it was possible for someone just to reserve one night, either the 23rd or the 24th, or both. Still, it was possible to reserve both, of course. But I thought that my chances of getting a reservation for just one of the 2 nights was probably higher than for someone arriving at the last minute for 2 nights. And when this is the case, when it's really last minute like this, people have to send me a message to request. I think it's up to 24 hours ahead of time. They can use Instant Book, and I have another video about this if you want to check it out as well. But if it's really last minute, people have to send me a message. And so in fact, it was the 23rd, and I was in the unit cleaning from the last guest who had just left, and I received a text, not a text message, but a message on the Airbnb platform asking me, requesting to reserve for that same night, for the night of the 23rd. And so I was so pleased, and of course I accepted the request, and the people arrived a couple hours later, and everything worked out, and it was great. And in the end, I thought, okay, I don't want to do the cleaning again tomorrow and again the following day, so I just blocked the 24th at that point. So I knew that I had some more time to do the cleaning, and I was satisfied that I had gotten one of the 2 nights full at least. And then here at the end of the month as well, we've had 2 last-minute reservations as well, and again, just to fill up the calendar. But of course I'm very pleased. And again, like, I just have to tell myself, it's okay, the nights will fill up, don't panic, because you can see in the end we did get a bunch of reservations here at the last minute as well. So looking forward, but going back, this is what August looked like at the end of June. And here is what August looks like now. So you can see there has been some movement. There have been some changes. For example, we did have a reservation on the 3rd and the 4th that just got canceled, and we had another reservation on the 8th and the 9th that also just got canceled. I'm not sure why. I'm hoping that they will fill up as well. It's kind of funny because the 3rd and the 4th had been reserved, and the 2nd was just that one night sort of hole in between 2 reservations that I had freed up and made available, and it was in fact reserved. So we do have someone coming for one night, the night of the 2nd, which looks silly now because there's no reservation on the 3rd and the 4th, but it's okay. Hopefully the 3rd and the 4th will fill up. Hopefully I'm going to leave it there like as a 2-night minimum for the moment and see if it fills up. If not, I'm going to have to separate those out too, because today is actually Monday the 29th, so we're getting closer and closer to the weekend. And if by the middle of the week, for example, no one has reserved for those 2 nights, the 3rd and the 4th, then I'll unblock them and make them available for just 1-night reservations. But August is looking pretty good so far. The 13th and the 18th are also 1-night holes in the schedule that I've freed that are available to reserve for 1 night. So we'll see if those fill up as well. And as of now, we have on the books, we have 2,401 euros and 72 cents in terms of projected revenue for the month of August, but hopefully by the end of the month, more of these nights will be reserved and the final will be a bit higher. So we're already very close to what we made last year in August, which was 2,430 euros. Last year we did have a few friends that came and stayed for a few nights in the month of August, so that had an impact on our bottom line, but it was no big deal. We were happy to see our friends. Until now, until July 2024, August 2022 had been our best month ever with 2,756 euros. So you can see we really did break a record this month. We're really pleased about that. Can we break this record for August 2024? Can we make more than 2,756 euros? I don't know. You'll have to stay tuned to see. You can like and subscribe. I'll do another video at the end of August to give you the update for the month of August. We'll see how we do. And once September rolls around, it's no longer really the high season, although the revenues for the past 2 Septembers have been quite good, around 1,800, 1,900 euros as well. This is what September 2024 looks like right now. We already have 1,439 euros of reservations on the books. So I'm confident that we will be able to get at least 1,800, 1,900 euros of reservations by the end of the month of September. We will see. But what's really great about keeping records like like this is that I know that the last 2 years we were able to charge about 85 euros a night in the month of September, but as of now, people seem like they're willing to pay about 100 as well for the month of September. But we will see. The difference between 85, which is what people have paid in the past, and 100, which is what I'm hoping for this year, or what I still have the prices set at for now, that's sort of my wiggle room. And as these dates get closer, if we don't have any interest and we don't have any reservations, then I may adjust the prices down a little bit. But I know in my head that I should be able to get a minimum of 85 euros a night for these dates. So it's looking like it's going to be a very lucrative summer for us, and hopefully a lucrative early fall as well. And I hope that giving these examples and just being really transparent about the amount of money that we make with our Airbnb will encourage you if you're someone who is thinking about becoming a host as well. I'm going to include a link below to our listing so you can take a look at that as well. And also I have a referral code. So if you are someone that's thinking about setting up an Airbnb listing, if you click on this code, both you and I would receive a bonus once you complete your first qualifying stay. And in exchange, I would be happy to give you some feedback on your listing. And you can check out some of the other videos in our series about managing our short-term rental. And like I said, you can go ahead and subscribe if you want to stay tuned for future updates about our revenue. Thank you so much for watching the video today. Take care and a bientôt!